watching ESPN's Champ Week presented by Principal. This is the Northeast Conference Men's Basketball Championship. Here in New Britain, Connecticut, two charter members of the NEC squaring off for the prize spot in the NCAA tournament. 3 seed St. Francis and top seed Central Connecticut State. We have a packed house to see these two teams that have survived very tight quarters in the semifinals. Either team could have been upset, but both survived and advanced to get to tonight. Here's how they did it. First, for St. Francis, LIU in that semifinal took itself a big lead, but the Red Flash fought back. League Rookie of the Year Juan Cranford nailed 3 late free throws to secure the 3-point victory and a chance to keep this dream season alive against all odds. Meanwhile, for Central Connecticut State, the Blue Devils will push to the limit by Fairleigh Dickinson. League scoring champ Terrence Brown tied it up for the Knights. However, Central's Joe Ostrowski would miss a chance to win it in regulation, but in the end, Central Connecticut State won its 14th straight ball game for a spot here tonight and a chance 1 win away from going to the NCAA tournament. And welcome everybody. Along with Tim Welsh, I'm Doug Sherman, and this is what they play all season for, Tim, a shot at the big dance.
There's nothing better, Doug, in college basketball than these one-bid leagues that come to this point in the season. And there's nowhere else I'd rather be tonight than here and with you, because the excitement you could feel in the building, you could feel this morning, you could feel this afternoon on campus. And these teams both deserve to get here, and for different reasons, there's pressure on both, and it's going to be fun to watch.
Well, as expected, when you get to the conference championship game, both teams are playing their best basketball of the year. For St. Francis, they weren't necessarily supposed to get to this point, but they won 3 straight games to close out the regular season, all in overtime, and they have continued the magic here in March. Well,
they have in Central Connecticut and St. Francis. Both, as I said, are good basketball teams in different ways. St. Francis is solid as a rock out there offensively. They really move the ball. They share from side to side. They play 11 players, so they'll rotate guys in and out, and they earned their way here with those 3 OT wins and the great win at LIU on Saturday.
The Blue Devils, meanwhile, won the regular season championship by going 14-2. They have won 14 in a row overall, and they are as hot as any, but they have been pushed to the limit in recent weeks.
Well, that's going to happen in these tournaments because everybody steps their game up and everybody wants the #1 team. But Central deserves it. They've got their core 4. They're veterans. They've been in this situation now. They've been the hunted all year long, and they've answered the bell all year long, and they have the final opportunity tonight.
It's the story of a proud program with high expectations, aiming to solidify its place as the dominant force in the NEC. That's Central Connecticut. And it's the story of an NEC original looking to complete a dramatic run to its first conference crown in more than 3 decades. And it's been a while for either of these programs to get to the NCAA tournament. Central hasn't been there since 2007. St. Francis has been there, Tim, just once, and that was all the way back in 1991. And we are underway here at Dietrich Gymnasium.
Gotta love the coaching matchup as well. Both coaches played at their respective schools. Just a lot of pride tonight for both guys, just taking their alma mater to the big dance.
So at this end on offense, what should we expect out of Central Connecticut State?
Well, they're going to run a lot of things through Jordan Jones and Devin Hayes, but they're not going to force the issue. They're going to set a lot of ball screens. They like to go inside out through Abdul Momo.
That was Devin Hayes who missed that shot. Second team all NEC this year. Meanwhile, for St. Francis, their point guard, Riley Parker, number 11, is the man who makes them go.
Riley Parker is very amped up, and I'm sure he didn't double dribble on that possession. That's what Patrick Sellers wanted, but the key is Riley Parker. They've got to slow him down, contain him in the half court.
He was brilliant in the regular season finale 10 days ago with 14 points in the final minute of regulation and overtime to beat Chicago State to clinch the 3 seed in the conference tournament. In they go again to Valentino Pinedo, the East Carolina transfer who just scored a moment ago. A little strong on that one.
And there you see a key for Central Connecticut to dominate the glass. St. Francis is not a great rebounding team, and Central wants to get it and go.
Here's the conference player of the year, number 23, Jordan Jones. And yes, he was named for Michael Jordan. Where's the number 23? He misses his first shot of the night.
And the key is Parker down here for St. Francis, because he's going to run the show. A lot of ball screens at the top, which is a St. Francis staple, but it's also Central's key on defense. They're very good at rotating on the ball screen.
And you know, Chris Moncrief has been playing so well down the stretch. He misses on the runner. Has been a key for why the Red Flash have played so well in recent weeks.
You can just feel the nervous energy in the building, but also on the floor. Both teams a little tight early.
Joe Ostrowski misfires from three. Damar Kelly, the Quinnipiac transfer, grabs the rebound.
St. Francis, Doug, at the top, when they run these ball screens, to look for the throwback opposite before Central could rotate. There it is again.
Parker left alone. Misses short. He's a real good three-point shooter at 40% on the year. St. Francis on top 2-0. Hayes, couple of moves, gets to the basket and lays it off the glass for two.
Devin Hayes, that's what he does. He just takes what the defense gives him. He's kind of a quiet killer out there for Central, because if you don't pay attention to him, he will go get points in a flurry. Watching St. Francis, they'd love to reverse the floor. They'll space it 5 out around one, sometimes 4 out around one, but sometimes 5 out on the perimeter.
Cranford got himself in a bad spot, and it's a shot clock violation.
Well, when Central needs a bucket, it's either Jordan Jones or Devin Hayes that goes and gets one. It's just a good ball fake. Playing off 2 feet, that's what Patrick Sellers really has done well teaching this ball club.
And Hayes was so good in the semifinal victory Saturday over FDU with a career-high 29 points. Trying from long range. Ball bounced the right way to Joe Ostrowski, and the senior from Mount Pleasant, Michigan, lays it in.
That's what Ostrowski does, those heady plays, and difficult to retrieve that off the made miss off the side of the board.
Playing through Pinedo on the block again. Another three-point try left short, this time by Chris Moncrief. Traveling violation. Jaden Brown, one of the tri-captains for Central Connecticut State, shuffled his feet before putting the ball in the deck.
Well, that's Brown. It's not his game putting it on the deck from that spot per se, but Central, you see there, trying to push it quickly from their transition offense into their secondary, and then they're looking to score quickly.
Looking to use his size at 6'3", 205 to his advantage. Got a good look, but we've got a foul on the floor. Our first media timeout of this NEC championship here in New Britain. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Principal. Let's build a retirement and benefits plan that works for your team. We have a couple of lifers at each of our schools in tonight's NEC championship game. Rob Krimmel arrived in Loretto, PA as a teenager back in 1996, and he's never left. Player, assistant coach, now head coach, the dean of all coaches in this conference. Well, meanwhile, a similar story for Patrick Sellers for Central Connecticut State. He was the 1991 ECC Defensive Player of the Year. Now, he went away and had other stops on his way to get back to Central Connecticut State, but now in his 4th year has this program at the top of this league.
Yeah, the long and winding road, and Rob talked about it. His dad said you should take a look at St. Francis. He didn't really want to, and he's never left. And of course, Patrick came back after a long and winding road, working for a lot of fantastic coaches over his career.
As you alluded to, Coach Krimmel grew up in State College, PA. He was used to a big university. His father was a coach at Penn State, a swimming coach. And so when he made his first visit down to tiny St. Francis University in Loretto, he's like, yeah, it's too small. I'm not going there. Nope. But his dad knew, and Coach Krimmel told us earlier today, quote, "It has made me who I am."
Well, small is sometimes better and more fun, and that's why I love doing this game, because it just means so much this night to everyone here around both these programs.
Jaden Brown off the mark. Yeah, you during your time as head coach at Iona in the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference had your share of these championship night jitters that we are seeing to start this ball game tonight.
Well, the players, how they react is so important. And you watch the first 5 minutes of the game. I think both teams are very relaxed. They're playing their game. It starts with defense with both clubs.
St. Francis, though, has missed its last 8 shots. Trying to tie the score in transition. Good defense by Central Connecticut State. And then the foul given up by Damar Kelly. And that is his second.
Well, you might look at the score and say, wait a minute, are these teams uptight? Are they not ready for the moment? Is there too much pressure? I don't believe so. I think it's just good, hardcore defense. You've got 10 guys out there really trying to crash into each other. And St. Francis has got to be aware a little bit of foul situations, as both teams right now have 4. St. Francis much deeper than Central.
And Pinedo is the one who picked up his second foul, so he sits, and that's a problem. At 6'8", he's the size for Coach Krimmel.
They really don't have any depth at that forward position. Let's see if Central tries to take advantage down low.
Devontae Sweatman has come into the game, number 3 for the Blue Devils. Here's the 4th-year senior Joe Ostrowski, part of a 4-man class that has been together for 4 years for the Blue Devils. Really unheard of in this day and age. Whistler slipped Salmon into the game. Skip pass to Cranford. Now he told us he broke out that headband for this game special. If he keeps shooting like he has, I'm guessing it'll be gone by halftime, Tim.
Well, sometimes it's all about the attire.
Looking for a little extra drip tonight in his words. This is Max Frazier, a Siena transfer, number 22 in white. Ostrowski reloads. 10 on the shot clock. Being defended by Sannon. Pass to the corner. Wide open look by Sweatman. It's an air ball long.
A lot of long shots early, so a little too hyped up out of the gate, which can be expected.
Early minutes for Aiden Harris, sophomore from Annapolis. And this is Parker, first team all-conference. 5 to shoot. Salmon, tough shot. Another long shot. And the rebound snared by Max Frazier.
Central doing a good job on that high ball screen for Parker. That time they just flat switched it at the top.
St. Francis made its first shot of the night, Tim, and has missed the last 12. Sweatman turns it over, and here come the Frankies. Looked like a foul. Somehow, though, picked up by Cranford and put through.
2 little crashes at the rim, but nothing going. But Cranford shows that great body control and also power as a freshman. Just a real developed physique, which he uses well at the rim.
Ostrowski hangs in the air, finds the open man on the perimeter. Bad pass by Brown, stolen away. Here comes St. Francis. Cranford challenges the big man and lays it in.
Cranford is real good with body control. And you know he can make shots from the perimeter. You've got to play him tight, but in transition, really confident.
The ball went up and over the backboard and is stuck for the moment.
Well, it's been about defense and defense to offense. Not great half-court offense, but in transition, St. Francis trying to take advantage of the turnovers and being physical, and then the careless pass across, and St. Francis starting to get loose.
Let the celebration begin. Best basketball that we have ever seen.
Let's take a look at the T. Rowe Price ACC Men's Basketball Conference Tournament bracket. Is there any way, Tim Welsh, that Duke does not win this year's championship?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, obviously we know how great Duke is and everything that goes with their whole roster top to bottom. But by the way, Clemson did beat them in Clemson, and Clemson's had an outstanding season. And Pat Kelsey in his first year at Louisville, I mean, talk about turning a program upside down, back where they should be. But Pat's done an excellent job. So those are two teams to watch. That's obvious they're the 2 and 3 seed, but they have the chops to do it.
Notre Dame won a thriller earlier today over Pittsburgh by a point. Cal and Virginia Tech are in overtime right now with Syracuse and Florida State coming up in the nightcap. All that action on the ACC network. Good ball movement to find the man in the paint. Moncrief misfires. Well, St. Francis, after missing 13 of its first 14, had made its last 2 to take the lead. Misfiring there. Here's Central Connecticut State, the regular season champs in the Northeast Conference with the basketball. Abdul Momo, number 11, hands it off for Devontae Sweatman. And the 5'8" senior from Boston connects.
Well, that's few and far between for Central Connecticut, running good, solid half-court offense, and they were able to do that because they changed sides of the floor. And Jordan Jones got them into their stuff early in the shot clock.
St. Francis playing without its starting center for the moment. Valentino Pinedo picked up 2 early fouls. Kelly from the corner. I thought Aiden Harris was going to get away with that nifty little push-off underneath, but the officials got him. So it's a personal foul against the sophomore, who stands 6'7".
Aiden Harris, that's a good call by Mike Fleury. He sees it, he's right there, and Harris really's got to make that first move as the shot goes up in the air, just to kind of pinch him out of the way. You can get away with that if you use your body, but not your arms.
No call, as the defender, Whistler Shannon, hit the deck. Got a big assignment here, trying to stay in front of the conference player of the year. Trying to get the ball inside to Momo, and the pass goes out of bounds. Darren Smith Jr. turns it over. 5th turnover committed by a Central Connecticut State team that has won 14 in a row. That's the longest active streak in the country, tied with High Point University. It's already into the NCAA tournament, having won on Sunday the Big South Conference Championship. And UC San Diego, in the midst of a great year as well, has won 13 in a row. Bobby Rosenberger III misses his first shot. Nice work on the offensive glass by Harris. And the shooting struggles continue for Jeremy Clayville and the Red Flash.
Well, Clayville's got deep range. You see the confidence he has from the perimeter as a freshman.
He's had a very productive freshman year. Out of bounds, they say. Devontae Sweatman says, I was ushered out of bounds, but it's another turnover by the Blue Devils. They're 6th.
Well, we talked about the winning streak, Doug, but the thing here, we go on the baseline, just kind of dribbling out into no man's land, but good defense, a little push. They get away with it. Harris stuck his leg out, but the maturity of Central is noted by that long winning streak, because probably more impressive than most leagues because of the real tough travel in this conference.
Quick hands by Momo to get the deflection and throw St. Francis' timing off. Clayville, tough shot. Batted back. A fresh 20 on the shot clock. Shannon, no. Momo up to the rim for the rebound.
Good perimeter defense by Central, getting out, contesting, under control.
Tough shot by Haid. He has just 2 points so far. Jordan Jones still scoreless. More than 10 minutes in. And Tim, at this end, St. Francis 0 for 9 from 3-point range. Kelly, fade away, and he gets the roll. St. Francis back in front.
That's a friendly rim right there, but still good defense by Central, and that's what St. Francis needs to do. They need to be a little bit more patient, not settle for the threes, try to attack at the end of the clock on ball reversal. We're going one-on-one. You see Kelly, just a little step back, pretty good defense by Momo, but Central has done a real good job of keeping them out of the paint, and Parker getting into the lane with for his driving kicks.
It's a good thing they've been defending, because the Central offense has been rough. Last 12 possessions, 0 for 6 and 6 turnovers. Let's see if they turn it around here. Down 8-6 with 8 and change remaining in the first half.
One thing St. Francis has done, Doug, even though they're missing a lot of shots, they're really doing a good job getting back on defense. And there's a good high-low.
The broad shoulders of the senior from Carteret, New Jersey, Abdul Momo, lays it in to retie the game at 8.
Everybody talks about Jones and Haid as their scorers, but Haid is a very unselfish player. You see, that's an excellent pass from the top of the key.
Yeah, Momo is most known for his defense. He's the defensive player of the year now in that ball screen defense. But he's also pretty good on the offensive end. Third team all conference all the way around. St. Francis still on the schneid from deep. Ostrowski looks back over to his head coach Pat Sellers, and they reset. 7:17 to go in the half.
I think Patrick wants to get Jordan Jones involved right now on this play.
Well, Haid not shy. Amar Kelly will bring it up. Sophomore out of Penn Hills High School in Pittsburgh. Crosses over Ostrowski, rises up, and connects.
That time, Kelly's hunting those shots right now. He's feeling pretty confident that he can get the ball into the lane and make a play.
Yeah, Kelly has reached double figures, Tim, in 9 of the last 10 games. Jones still looking for his first points. Instead, he passes off to Smith. First 3 points for the redshirt freshman from Springfield, Mass. And the Blue Devils lead by 1. And the takeaway by Smith.
He's a good-looking freshman. He's long. He plays much bigger than 6'7". You see his ability to move in transition, shoot the jumper, and defend.
On the backdoor pass, Haid couldn't handle it. Turnover from Jordan Jones.
Well, the high-low, the lost art of the high-low, Doug Sherman. Just a little dump down.
I like it.
And then a 3 by Smith. Confidence, breaking the ice, getting Central a little bit more confident.
Here's basketball here at Central Connecticut State. They have notable players who have gone on to the NBA. Howie Dickinman was a draft pick in 1969 of the Phoenix Suns. He never played in the league, but Keith Kloss, after twice leading the country in block shots here for the Blue Devils, played 3 years for the LA Clippers, late 90s, early 2000s. And then Corsley Edwards was a second-round pick of the Sacramento Kings in 02. He would play a handful of games in 04-05 for the New Orleans Hornets. But Tim Welsh, your friend Howie Dickinman, we just saw him in his playing days back in the 60s. He's better known around here as their legendary former head coach.
That's the way Howie looked on the sidelines. And we unfortunately scheduled them a few times back in the day at Providence. And he gave me that stare a couple times, and that was it. Night was over. Howie had some great teams, though. Love that guy. Tremendous coach, and still love Central.
Ostrowski ties up Cranford. Hey, you and I were talking before the game during your days at Providence. You matched up with Central Connecticut State at least once that you wouldn't want to remember. He would, though.
Yeah, he came in, took a big fat check, pretended to like me and be nice, and then beat us. And then went to the NCAA tournament. They had a heck of a team, and he was a tremendous coach. I mean, I can't even, it's understated when I say that. His teams were always real hard to play against.
Yeah, he had it rolling here at Central back in the early 2000s and took 3 of his teams to the NCAA tournament in 2000, 02, and 07. That's the last time the Blue Devils had gone to the big dance. Much better looking stroke out of Riley Parker, their first made 3 of the night.
Yeah, Central not communicating on that high ball screen. Usually they're excellent at it, but that time they went under the screen and Parker took advantage.
Kelly will bring it up. Here's Riley Parker, one of the tri-captains. He's from Australia. Swatted by Brown. Blue Devils back the other way. This is a veteran Central Connecticut State team. 4 fourth-year seniors. Everybody in the rotation, pretty much an upperclassman, including that guy, Brown. Ostrowski on the weekend. On the weak side, cleans it up.
Well, whatever you want to call it, he is scrapping in. His nose for the ball is tremendous, and he's just kind of gets lost out there in the shuffle. And if you don't put a body on him, he'll squeeze in there and finish the play.
Well, he spent his first 3 years here in New Britain as a primary backup at point guard. First year, actually, Ostrowski was a walk-on. And now in his first year as a starter, he's got this team 1 win away from going to the big dance. Cranford now with 7 points to lead the Red Flash.
Usually Joe Ostrowski, that's why he's guarding on Cranford, because he finds those shooters and he doesn't let them get that shot off. You may be able to dribble by him, but usually he contests a lot better. But that time Cranford just a nice step back with that size.
Jones not being selfish, again passing off, this time again to Darren Smith for 3, and we're tied again at 16.
The beauty of being a freshman, Doug, is you really don't understand what's going on here tonight. You see Cranford and Smith, no pressure, no problem as a freshman.
Miles Webb, no. Well, what has St. Francis done defensively on number 23, Jordan Jones, to keep him scoring?
They're picking him up, but they're not gambling on him. They're giving some soft help. You know, they're laying off him a little bit. They're giving him the three-point shot, and they've got to be careful because he can knock that shot down, but he's very unselfish. Juan Cranford can beat you in transition, but that smooth stroke, you've got to get near him because he's got that size at 6'3". And then Smith at 6'7", plays like he's about 6'10" with that length.
ABC.
16 apiece in this NEC championship game, and for St. Francis, they would love to get back to the NCAA tournament for just a second time in program history. Haven't been since '91, and they have quite a list of former players, most notably Naismith Hall of Famer Maurice Stokes, and we have much more on their NBA connections coming up. In the meantime, the officials have spent the time out taking a look at a replay to see how number 0 in red, Chris Moncrief, lost his uniform, and he's now wearing number 42.
Well, they're looking if this in fact was a flagrant, and what happened there is Darren Smith.
We have a little push and shove after the play. There's nothing flagrant on the play. We're not going to call it a flagrant foul.
Darren Smith felt like Moncrief was up in his face a little too close, and he kind of tried to pull him away, and the jersey came with it. And I think the officials did a good job. They said it was 2 guys tangled up and no flagrant.
So again, the housekeeping is that Chris Moncrief is now wearing number 42. No problem when you're a school like St. Francis. They don't have their names on the back of the jersey, so it's no big deal. He trades in 0. There he is, number 42, wearing the Jackie Robinson number for the rest of the game.
Well, he's an important piece, and we haven't really said a lot about him. You mentioned him earlier that he's played well as of late, but you know, when you talk to people around the league, we talk to people, both coaches, one of the keys to St. Francis turnaround in the last month of the season and why they're here tonight has been Chris Moncrief. He's kind of bought into what Rob Krimmel wants on both ends of the floor, and he's kind of an X factor, gives him that good wing scorer, guy who can be physical in the lane.
Yeah, since rejoining the starting lineup along with Juan Cranford, St. Francis is 7-2 with all 5 starters averaging double figures. It's been working for St. Francis, the 3 seed that really wasn't supposed to be here, but they've gotten hot at the right time, rattled off 5 wins in a row. They are still a sub-500 team. So if they win this game and get to the NCAA tournament, you'll see them in your bracket at 16-17. But Central Connecticut State, the regular season champ, hoping that does not happen. Central is the big favorite with a 25-6 record, the regular season champion. The number 42 agrees with him. Chris Moncrief was scoreless in number 0 for 17 minutes. Now he's on the board.
A good recognition. He saw Darren Smith ball watch, and he lost track of Moncrief. He just caught it and took it right to the rack.
Haid can heat up, but not yet. He's got just 2 points. Jones still scoreless. They combine to average 29 per game for the Blue Devils. Number 42 with a throwdown. Chris Moncrief.
Now that side pick and roll, and Rob Krimmel is going to go high pick and roll. And that little wing pick and roll cleared out the backside. There's just 2-on-2. Just both guys went to the ball. Nobody on the backside.
Lots of NBA tradition in the history of St. Francis University basketball. How about the Naismith Hall of Famer Maurice Stokes? Norm Van Leer, like Stokes, a three-time NBA All-Star. He played with the Pistons and the Bulls primarily. Kevin Porter led the NBA in assists per game multiple times. And then there you see number 42, Mike Isolino, the most recent NBA player out of St. Francis. He was the man who led St. Francis to its one and only NCAA tournament back in 1991. And oh, by the way, his number 42 has been taken off of mothballs for Chris Moncrief to use in an emergency here tonight.
A couple of good-looking shots for Central on that possession, but just right now they're off their game just a touch and they're settled down to this end.
Kelly, no. Jordan Jones, the senior from Florence, South Carolina. Same hometown as his head coach Patrick Sellers. Good post defense to knock the ball away. 20 on the timer. Jones off the crossover. He's got his first two of the night. Central Connecticut State back within two.
Well, that's why Jordan Jones is so special. He doesn't have to score right out of the gate. He'll wait for his opportunity and then take it to the hole.
Cranford on the step back. Good fight for the ball. Webb tracks it down for the red flash. And if you hear me call them the Frankies, that was their old nickname until the early 70s. St. Francis, a turnover by the Frankies. The throwdown by Devin Hayes.
Well, Riley Parker just tried to fool around a little bit, and Hayes is up in his face, and Rob Trimble wants to talk about it. Well, when your half-court offense is struggling, you better find other ways, and that's when you count on guys like Jordan Jones and now Devin Hayes for the last two possessions.
Let's take a look at the Phillips 66 Big 12 Men's Basketball Conference Tournament bracket. So you got number 2 Houston, number 9 Texas Tech, number 12 Iowa State, number 17 BYU. But Tim Welsh, can I convince you that maybe Arizona, maybe Kansas could be the team that wins this year's Big 12 championship?
Absolutely. I mean, that league is so stacked, but until someone knocks off Houston, you can't convince me.
Haig got a finger on that shot. Central Connecticut State has a chance to take the lead into the locker room.
They like to go high pick and roll, high pick and pop. And they'll let Jones just operate, and then Hayes maybe a pick and pop here at the top.
The former Division II star at Coker University in South Carolina misses. Good defense by Juan Cranford to knock the ball away from Abdul Momo. And so with 2.9 on the clock, Central Connecticut State will have a out of bounds underneath.
Terrific play by Jones just to get to the rim, but St. Francis did a nice job of closing the gap, giving some help and resistance at the rim, and also stayed home on the shooter. So he really didn't have any other choice than to shoot that little off-balance runner.
Quick release by Haid. Out of bounds. They have 0.6 of a second on the clock, and it'll go to St. Francis. Cranford's heave. A little bit short. And with our 7th tie, we head to the half. Coming up at the half, highlights from the Big 12 tournament. And can anybody in the ACC challenge the top-ranked Duke Blue Devils? Our halftime score, St. Francis 20, Central Connecticut State 20. Coming up after the break, it's halftime with Dallin Cuff, Malcolm Huckabee, and Tom Green. ESPN's Champ Week presented by Principal. This is the Northeast Conference Men's Basketball Championship. You're in Dietrich Gymnasium in New Britain, Connecticut. The NEC champion will go on to the NCAA tournament. Perhaps 20 minutes from now, we are tied at 20 apiece. Welcome back, everybody, with Tim Welsh. I'm Doug Sherman. Neither team led by more than 4 in that first half. We had 7 ties. It's been deadlocked pretty much seemingly from the start.
So what do they say, Doug? Defense wins championships.
Oh, yeah.
So if that's the case, both these teams have a shot, but their offenses have to definitely calm down, especially Central. They've got 8 turnovers versus 3 assists, and on the season they're a positive. So, but both teams are amped up defensively, and I think you'll see a better flow in the second half.
Pinedo with foul trouble. Didn't seem to hurt St. Francis. Central Connecticut's 2 stars never got going. Now it's time for tonight's Experts at Work, brought to you by Principal.
Well, experts at work, high hands, a lot of contested shots, a lot of activity, good rotation. Both offenses a little clunky in the half court, but getting out in transition, getting some steals has been a key. And I think both teams just have to settle down a little bit. They're trying to make the home run play in the half court, and I'm sure both coaches talk to their teams about it. And Central has to get Jordan Jones and Devin Haight going. And Devin Haight made his presence felt defensively in the first half, but offensively they just have not been in a great rhythm. And listen, I love defense. Everybody does love, every coach loves defense, but both teams have to just slow down a little bit in the half court, not try to hit the home run early in the shot clock.
Pinedo played just 5 minutes in that first half after picking up 2 quick fouls. He's back in to start the second half at center, number 31 in red, and he knocks away that pass to give the basketball back to the red Flash.
And again, a perfect example of trying to hit the home run right out of the gate. He wasn't open. He tried to force that issue into the post.
So Tim, I'll ask you this, an odd statistic from the first half as Chris Moncrief penetrates. Juan Cranford gives St. Francis a 3-point lead. We had no free throws attempted in the first half. What does that mean to you?
That means that both teams are playing too much on the perimeter. They're not trying to dribble drive into the gaps, but both teams are doing a good job of protecting on the perimeter. That was their game plan. Push the ball to the sidelines, not allow paint touches.
Meanwhile, this is the NEC Conference Player of the Year. They gave it to his fellow All-Star Devin Haight, fouled on the 3-point shot. What does Central Connecticut State need to do to get Jordan Jones and Devin Haight going?
I think they just have to run more offense towards them. And the thing with Jones, he brings the ball up the court so you know where he is, but once he gives it up, you got to try to set some screens for him on the baseline, maybe on a few pin downs on the wing. He's so good at the change of direction of getting the ball where he wants to get it to, but he doesn't get it back. They're totally denying him, and he's got to find a way to get open.
That was our first free throw of the night as Patrick Sellers looks on, hoping his junior from Wooster, Ohio, can make 2 and 3. Coming up over on ESPN at 9 Eastern, it's the West Coast Conference Championship game. Gonzaga takes on St. Mary's in Vegas. And, of course, St. Mary's swept the regular season series from Gonzaga. However, the Zags are favored tonight to get them back. Is that true, Tim? Is it hard to beat the same team 3 times in one season?
No, that's just something that us analysts and announcers like to say, but the coaches don't believe in that. And I'm sure Randy Bennett probably likes that they're not favored.
Kelly puts up an air ball. It's not been a good shooting night for either team. St. Francis is now 2 for 16 from beyond the arc. Ostrowski keeps his dribble, dumps it inside, and Momo had it knocked out of bounds. Central will keep with 11 on the timer. So,
Doug, there's a reason Jordan Jones shoots 47% from the field, and as a guard, that's highly unusual. But I would think tonight he's got to be a little bit more selfish and not worry about getting everybody involved. Just try to make things happen more on his own when he can.
Now we've got to go with 3 on the shot clock. Rebound tracked down by Moncrief. Cranford, the rookie of the year in the NEC, going to work again. He has been the lead scorer in the ball game tonight.
They're letting him get loose a little bit. Not only on the perimeter, he's had a couple open looks, but that time going to his strong hand, they've got to force him back to the right.
He's got a dozen, nearly half of the St. Francis points. We've got a foul in the lane as Haight hit the deck.
We saw Cranford on the previous possession at the beginning of the half have the open 3, and you see how strong he is going to the left. He's got that ability to draw contact and play through it, but not as effective going the other way.
Third foul on Damar Kelly. And now, after having a fairly foul-free first half, the whistles are going here in the first couple of minutes of the second half.
Here's the announcer jinx taking place. As you pointed out, there are no free throws. This will be a free throw fest for sure.
Whistler Sannon, a junior from Sicklerville, New Jersey, number 23 in red for St. Francis. The Red Flash come in having won their last 5 games. They edged LIU in a thrilling semifinal with 3 late free throws after having beaten Wagner in the quarterfinals 58-55, also on 3 late free throws.
The defense by Sweatman, and just another home run pass by Central.
Yeah, Haid coughs it up. Bad pass. Trying to make a home run play, like you say, Tim.
So unusual for Central. They just always play within themselves on the offensive end.
Soaring in is Whistler, and he's fouled on the putback attempt by Abdul Momo.
That second effort. And you see with Pinedo back in the game, the other small forwards have a little bit more room inside to attack, because he's going to take up a lot of space, and they've got to be concerned with him first. But good job by Sannon on the attack.
Well, he's a third-year key reserve for Coach Rob Krimmel out of Paul VI High School in New Jersey. Last season had it interrupted by an ACL tear. Krimmel is the dean of head coaches in the NEC. This is year number 13 at his alma mater. This matches the largest lead of the night at 26-22. Devontae Sweatman's come back into the game for Central, number 3 in white. In they go to Jaden Brown. Ostrowski to Brown. The mid-range. Nothing but net.
Nice shot by Ostrowski, playing off 2 feet again. Had his head up. Was just waiting for the defense just to bite a little bit. Found the open man.
Well, Jaden Brown grew up in East Providence, Rhode Island. He told me earlier today that his grandfather, Victor Soares, who played at URI, is going to be watching tonight's game here on ESPN2. Here's the grandson looking to go end down and can't finish. Sannon tracks down the pass, has a misstep, and now gets it back. First team all-conference point guard Riley Parker hands it off, and the rookie of the year in the NEC, Juan Cranford, going to work on the mismatch. There's that physicality to get the open shot, just couldn't connect.
There's another good move by Cranford. He is just so good changing direction. You know he's going left, but somehow he gets there because he's got great body control, footwork, and the ability to change directions.
Jalen McGlone, who played a handful of minutes in the first half, is back out there for Central, number 13 in white. Brown looking to find Momo underneath. From the corner where he likes to shoot, Jalen McGlone misfires. Sannon quickly back the other way.
Another good look for Central. They were patient in that possession. The last couple have been cleaner. Unable to deliver.
Pinedo. Ostrowski keeps the dribble, draws the contact. Momo deadlocks the game once again at 26.
Well, again, that play was made by Ostrowski. Just drove into the gap, and he waited for the defense to come. He didn't have a passing angle, but getting up on the rim was so important because it drew the defense and allowed Momo to come clear from the backside for the tip-in. Now this is another winning play by Joe Ostrowski. Just drew the defense, and Momo with the tough finish.
Hard to beat all of that. We have you covered on Selection Sunday once again. It all starts at 6 Eastern with SportsCenter on ESPN. Reese and the guys look at the men's field of 68 as the brackets are announced, followed by bracketology with breakdowns of each region. Then at 8, the women's field of 68 is revealed with bracketology and a complete breakdown at 9 o'clock Eastern time on ESPN2.
Well, the guy next to you was, up until 10 years ago, a one-trick pony. You know what that means, Doug? All I watched was UConn women. That was it. Now I watch everything because the coaching, the players, the competition, the broadcasts, at the highest level of basketball. I just love the women's tournament.
It's remarkable how that sport has grown dramatically in recent years. And every single game will be on the ESPN networks again this year. Moncrief kept his feet, kept his head, able to keep the basketball on the move, and finally picks up the assist to Valentino Pinedo.
I love that play by Moncrief. Just had his head up the whole time, just looking for the open man, waited for the defense to bite a little bit towards the ball, and found Pinedo.
In limited minutes for him, you see 4 points, 3 rebounds, trying to answer at the other end. The corner 3 is missed by Smith. Cleaned up by Momo.
Well, that might be their best offense. Just have Momo throw his body around on the inside. Not much is being called. He's going to get away with the push-offs. They need him to be physical on the glass.
Well, Tim, in talking to Coach Sellers before the game, I asked how they kept this senior class of 4 together, and he said, actually, Abdul Momo was one of the guys who potentially considered hitting the portal, seeking more minutes elsewhere. But Sellers thought it was so important to nip that in the bud and not allow for him to think that he's got to go elsewhere to get the minutes. So he promised him every opportunity to be this year's starting center. He stayed, everybody else stayed, and they've kept this group together.
Smart move, really important person, not only on the glass, but defensively guarding those ball screens. He's excellent at the top. He does a great job with a big moving his feet, presenting a big target defensively, getting up in the passing angles. And interesting, though, what Patrick Sellers did right before that under-16 timeout. He took Jordan Jones out of the game, which he usually never does at that point unless it's foul trouble. And just to calm him down. After that foul, he got a little frustrated. Just talked to him for a minute or two and then put him back in the game.
There's Jones, number 23 in white. He is the 5th leading scorer in the league, of which he was named Player of the Year. Senior from Florence, South Carolina. Sweatman misses. Momo blocked by Pinedo. And a foul comes after the action.
Well, Central wanted a foul on that putback by Momo, but you're not getting that tonight. These guys are letting them play, and I like it. I like the job they're doing. There's a lot of pushing and shoving in here. And here's Momo. He pushes off to get the rebound first and foremost, throws the elbow, and it's a good block by Pinedo.
And the foul goes against Darren Smith Jr. Bobby Rosenberger, one of the tri-captains, number 14 in red, back into the game for Coach Krimmel. Pinedo whips it out to the perimeter, spotting up for 3, and burying it is Jeremy Clayville.
We saw Clayville in the first half take that 30-footer, and you're wondering, is he allowed? Yes, he's got that deep range and confidence.
Dialing it up for 3 is Devontae Sweatman.
Sweatman's been really good tonight. Defensively, good on-ball defender, and just takes his time in the corner. Likes to spot up from that spot.
Cranford all the way to the basket. No, cleaned up on the offensive glass by Pinedo.
Well, that's why St. Francis had to feel good going into the halftime without Pinedo on the floor for a long stretch of that first half. He's so important around the basket.
Jones off the back iron. Sannon playing a big role off the bench for St. Francis tonight.
Well, Sannon is a defender, and he's been locked into Jordan Jones all night long when he's been in the game. And they bring him in as a defensive specialist.
And occasionally he can put points on the board. His career high came here in this building at Central Connecticut last February when Sannon scored 13.
Well, Valentino Pinedo said he used to do this against Victor Wembanyama. Spain versus France, and Spain won, he told us.
Teams out of the Northeast Conference have gone to the tournament and done some damage. FDU, Wagner, Mount St. Mary's, Robert Morris, Monmouth in recent years have all gone and won games. This is currently a 9-school conference. Central Connecticut State, LIU, Mercyhurst, St. Francis, FDU, Stonehill, Wagner, Chicago State, Lemoyne. And Tim, typically in recent years, the winner of this tournament goes to Dayton. But that's not necessarily going to be the case if Central Connecticut State qualifies by winning tonight's game, because they put together such a good resume.
A little bit of a delayed call by Mike Fleury, but the right call.
Pinedo's third.
Pinedo just kind of thought he was going to bowl his way to the basket, but Central got in the way.
You see Jim Barron led the 1991 St. Francis team to the NCAA tournament. Only time this school has gone to the big dance. Central Connecticut State has been there 3 times previously, all under the direction of their former head coach, Howie Dickenman, who was in the building as a fan, checking out the Blue Devils.
Well, hopefully Matt Painter's not listening or watching, but still one of the most amazing win I've ever seen in the NCAA tournament. You and I did FDU that year, and the tallest guy was 6'4", and they found a way to beat Purdue.
With Zach Edey, no less. Sandlin with the layup.
You said it before. Sandlin has that ability to score. They don't run plays for him, but that time Central fell asleep, got out of a stance on defense.
Well, again, this matches the largest lead of the night. It's basically been a 1-possession game the entire way. We've had 10 ties, 4 lead changes. St. Francis trying to take its largest lead of the night here with a bucket. From way downtown. Clayville's got that kind of range, but not that time.
I'm not sure Rob Krim will like that shot. He's got that range, but that was under duress. That was contested.
Aiden Harris has come back in to play the post for St. Francis. Hayde was fouled on the shot by Sannon, who continues to question the call.
Well, Sannon was there, and he had his hands up, and Hayde kind of went into the defender and sold it. You know, he's got his hands up to play the pass or the drive. He's got high hands, which you're supposed to do, but he talked about the lack of free throws. But Central is a team that rarely fouls and rarely puts you on the line. It's amazing to me, the stats. And their opponents in the league, 6 made free throws per game. So that tells you what Central's emphasis is.
Well, Tim, coming up over on ESPN at 9 Eastern, it's the West Coast Conference Championship game. Gonzaga takes on St. Mary's out in Vegas. We had 7 tickets punched before today, 5 more being punched tonight. And one of these 2 teams will be in that exclusive field of 68 at the end of the evening here in New Britain, Connecticut.
It's really amazing what Randy Bennett's done over his career at St. Mary's. Obviously, it's a great program and great job, and people want to go there and play for him. But every year, right at the top of that league with the Zags.
Hayde makes 2 out of 3. Drawing Central back to within a pair. Just about midway through the second half here in the NEC Championship. Harris gets under the bucket. Cranford to that left hand. Pulls up and puts it in. Give him 14 points. The freshman from Dayton, Ohio, looking to get his red flash back to Dayton for the first 4 of the NCAA tournament.
Sorry, Doug, that's really good defense, but just better offense from just a strong, effective player. And there's a strong, effective player trying to get going in Jordan Jones.
Just his second made basket. Pulls the Blue Devils back to within 2. Reaching foul, going to get Jones.
Well, we've seen it all night from Juan Cranford. We saw it from the perimeter. You've got to play him tight out on the perimeter, but if you don't cut off that left hand, he is just going to lower that right shoulder and make space, and that's what Jordan Jones does with his footwork. Makes that space and just doesn't need much room on the step back.
He just committed Central Connecticut's 6th team foul. Kelly back out to Cranford, working for 3. Weak side rebound Harris, but for the 2nd time tonight he is called for the little push off on the rebound.
Well, that was better defense by Joe Ostrowski there on Cranford, and he's been burned before on just kind of laying off and going for that little jab step, takes a half a step back, and Cranford rises up and shoots over the top. That time Ostrowski kept his pace right there at on the ball, did a good job of closing out and then contested in his face.
That's his 2nd and the 5th team foul against the Red Flash here in the 2nd half. Jordan Jones, pass too tall for the 6-foot Joe Ostrowski. Well, the Ostrowski family is an athletic one, although not quite tall enough to handle this cross-court pass.
Well, this is a set play, and it's the right idea. It's just a little strong because Jordan Jones reads the defense. They're helping, they're anticipating that ball screen and dribble driving in the gap, so they're laying off Ostrowski on the weak side, but the pass too strong.
Turnovers piling up, a problem for Central tonight. Again, working that offensive glass, Harris, but he couldn't hold on. Blue Devils basketball.
Riley Parker is usually a pretty reliable shooter. That time, good defense and then scrappiness on the baseline.
Cade. Good box out by Harris. Here's Riley Parker, first team all-conference point guard. He's had a relatively quiet night tonight for the Red Flash. Here comes Cade on the breakaway. The finger roll ties the game at 37.
Well, the possessions are so golden out here tonight in a game like this because buckets are hard to come by, but that time Moncrief should have known they had the arrow. Just hold on to the basketball. Don't throw it to the other end.
Parker around the rim and in. St. Francis 40. Central Connecticut 37.
Good job by Riley Parker after shooting that air ball, having the confidence to knock it down on the next possession.
Well, he made SportsCenter top 10 last Wednesday for a half-court buzzer beater before the half in the quarterfinal win over Wagner. Perhaps some drama still to come here tonight.
Well, Central's defense has been scrappy. He's trying to keep them in this game. You see on the floor for the loose ball, the presence of mind of Hayes coming the other end. And then Parker, the leader, the guy who's going to make and take the big shot.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Principal. Let's build a retirement and benefits plan that works for your team. With Tim Welch, I'm Doug Sherman back in New Britain, Connecticut, where we will have another ticket punch to get into the NCAA tournament. The Northeast Conference title comes down to St. Francis, the 3 seed, and Central Connecticut State, the 1 seed. They will become the 8th team in the field of 68.
Well, Drake has done an unbelievable job with their program. First with Darren DeVries as a coach who went to West Virginia. Now Ben McCollum. You know, this group right here, there's some dangerous teams out there, including Drake. And I don't want to play those teams that kind of slide under the radar. And America East is going to be an outstanding champion as well. You've got Bryan in Vermont at the top of that conference.
And that semifinal that will follow us will be Bryant, less than 2 hours east of here, hosting UAlbany. They are scheduled to begin at the top of the hour. Jordan Jones gets to the baseline, finds a wide open teammate. And Darren Smith Jr. missed the opportunity to retie the ball game.
Well, that's money for him usually, especially that open. He might have thought about it just a second too much.
46% on the year. Kelly feeds the post. Pinedo playing with those 3 fouls, kicks it back out front to Moncrief, who loses his footing, keeps the dribble, but here comes Ostrowski.
It's his second possession now in the last few minutes that Moncrief just over dribbling into traffic, kind of putting his head down trying to make a play.
Abdul Momo surveys the defense, hands it off to his point guard Ostrowski. Smith back to Jones. They look to go one-on-one against Parker. From the elbow, no. Moncrief got a hand on it, but it'll be St. Francis ball.
Well, Riley Parker is just doing an outstanding job defensively on Jordan Jones. That time just stayed in front of him, used his size as well at 6'2", just to not let him dribble into the gap, find an angle, and then contest.
Well, Parker told us an interesting story. Of course, he's a young man from Australia, so most of American college basketball was foreign to him. He heard from the University of St. Francis initially. That's an NAIA school in Fort Wayne, Indiana, before St. Francis University reached out. Turned out there was a connection between the 2 coaching staffs, and that coincidence led to him becoming a Red Flash this year.
Confidence in his bench, and Rob Krimmel to take Riley Parker out of the game. At this time, he asked out. He was gassed after that last defensive possession.
Jones, long rebound into the hands of Juan Cranford Jr. Tracked down by the lightning quick Sweatman from behind, who poked it away. Central Connecticut State basketball, the 9th turnover committed by the Red Flag.
That sometimes happen when you're so relying on your point guard just to run the show, and in transition that time Cranford didn't have his backcourt mate to kind of bail him out of that. He just put his head down, tried to do too much.
Sweatman uses the screen, little floater off the front iron.
Sweatman, that was a pretty good move into the gap. He's played well tonight on both ends.
Now he's got the defensive assignment on Salmon, who feeds inside. Pinedo quickly to the reverse, and he is fouled by Jaden Brown. Crowd doesn't like it, but the 6'8" senior from the Tilton School in New Hampshire picks up the personal.
Well, again, it's the proper call, but it's a delayed call, which upsets you as a coach. Here's the foul. He definitely pushes him, and then the call doesn't come until the ball comes off and Brown has it in his hand. But it's the right call.
Well, he may hear about it from his older brother Terrell. You might remember him, the 6'10" senior at Pittsburgh, who now plays over in Romania. Apparently he and Jaden talk or text every day, and big brother watches every game and critiques his little brother every chance he gets.
Well, and that was a good move by Pinedo. And Pinedo's got really an array of good moves. He's undersized for a 5-man in today's game, and he plays down around the block where most 5-men want to step out and shoot threes and play on the perimeter. But he does a good job of getting low, down low, getting good early position, and then using good footwork to reverse himself underneath the rim.
And I did check earlier today with Pinedo. There is no tilde over that N. The young man from Spain pronounces it Pinedo. He gets 1 out of 2 from the line. The Blue Devils down by 4 with it. Jones uses the screen. Pinedo helps out, pokes it away. St. Francis with the steal.
Good job by Pinedo, just helping on that drop coverage, and thought Jones should have went up with it just a little touch earlier. Look at the rim and shoot the ball. Get it up on the rim.
Off the 15th turnover committed by Central Connecticut State. The shot is missed from the corner, and so it's Blue Devils basketball. The regular season champs riding a nation's best 14-game winning streak, trailing as we head down the stretch against St. Francis.
playoff tournament over on ESPN+. Let's get back about 20 minutes from here to New Britain. Take it, guys.
Thank you, Dallin. We've got ourselves a good one here with 3:44 remaining in the second of this NEC championship. It's basically been a 1 or 2 possession the entire way. Only 4 points separate the two teams right now.
You know, and you might say, are these teams too tight on offense? What are they doing? And I just want to point to the defense. The defense has been spot on. Both well scouted, of course. Excellent coaches defensively. They went through the game plan, and both teams have stuck to it. I would still make sure that St. Francis pays attention to Jordan Jones when he does come back in the game. Patrick Sellers, interesting taking him out of the game with 3:30 to go.
A big possession here for Central Connecticut State. They have turned it over too much here in the second half and have yet to really get the offense going. One of their big shooters, Devin Hayes, going to work but doesn't get the roll. Ostrowski again mixing things up inside, but it's St. Francis basketball.
That was a good look by Hayes. And a good strong move to the rim. Just couldn't go down. Ostrowski doing his thing on the backside, but was denied.
Moncrief. By Momo. Hayes to the corner. Ostrowski sees the second defender, dribbles back, and then a reach-in foul called against Riley Parker.
Well, the great timing and the ability to read the defense and not leave your man unguarded. Good rotation on the backside. Moncrief just put his head down and wanted to get to the rim.
Momo's the conference defensive player of the year, leads the league with 1.6 blocks per game. Hayes is fouled. And that is the 7th team foul. So it'll be a 1-and-1 after Kelly just picked up his 4th personal.
Well, we talked about it earlier about Jordan Jones, 47% field goal percentage as a guard. Well, Hayes is at 51%. So highly unusual your backcourt can both shoot those numbers. That means they're patient. They take good shots within the context of their offense. But we're seeing Hayes. He knows the moment right now. He's trying to make some things happen as a one-on-one player, and it's working. He should still keep doing what he's doing because they're having a hard time guarding him coming off those pin-down screens and those curls.
He is 5 for 7 from the line tonight, 86% on the year. Couple of big ones, 41-39. Into the full court pressure as the crowd comes to its feet. Bad pass taken away by Joe Ostrowski.
Ostrowski's been everywhere with those active hands. Let's see if Hayes goes one-on-one again.
He does for the tie. No. Momo got a hand on it. Smith rips it away. Hayes from the left corner. St. Francis with the basketball, and Parker will settle it down.
St. Francis dodged a couple bullets, but now they're pushing it. Wide open. That was a great look for Cranford.
With under 2 minutes left in regulation, timeout called by Central Connecticut State as we go down to the wire here in New Britain. We'll do that en route to the NCAA tournament. Jaden Brown, the senior forward for Central Connecticut State, told me that he didn't sleep well last night. He was thinking about cutting down the nets. He said he's done it in high school at the Tilton School, never done it in 4 years at college. Meanwhile, his classmate Jordan Jones, the Conference Player of the Year, continues to sit at crunch time for the Blue Devils.
Patrick knows he's struggled. I would say stay ready, though, because he is a guy that can go get a bucket along with Devin Hayes when they need one the most.
This is Hayes looking for his shot. Tied at 41.
Well, there's no doubt where they're going, and that's the right way to go because Hayes is playing with confidence, and they are having major trouble guarding him as he gets into the gap at 6'5".
Pinedo hands it off to Kelly. 12th time here tonight. We've been tied. Kelly into the lane. Rises up. Doesn't get the bounce. And the Blue Devils have a chance to retake the lead. They have not led, Tim, since 11-10.
Well, there is no doubt where they're going. Patrick Sellers has learned his lessons over the years from Jim Calhoun and Greg McDermott. They're going to this man.
Hey, no. He scratches his head as he backpedals back up court after missing a potentially huge shot.
Good shot, though. He got clear. He just jumped over the top. He's got a smaller defender on him. He's working his magic in the middle of the floor.
Cranford has 14 to lead. St. Francis gives it up to Kelly. He drives the baseline, dump it off. Pinedo goes for the dunk, lays it in, and he was fouled.
We've never seen Rob Krimmel coach live in person, and I can't be more impressed with a guy that's calm, has his team prepared, understands his team, and confident they will make the right decision. Game's under 40 seconds to go. Tie game. He's got 3 timeouts left. He let his team play.
It's the 4th time Rob Krimmel has taken St. Francis to the NEC championship game, but they have yet to cut down the nets. The 47-year-old former point guard trying to do that tonight at his alma mater. That was the 3rd foul on Momo. Ostrowski gets into the front court and calls timeout. So we've got about 2+ seconds difference between the game clock and shot clock. Do you imagine Jordan Jones comes back into the game?
Absolutely. And Patrick Sellers, we said he learned his lessons from Jim Calhoun and Greg McDermott and a lot of really good coaches, and he paid attention. And the one thing, you can't go home tonight with your best player on the bench. Unless he's in foul trouble, unless he's hurt, unless you see that he's wounded as far as confidence-wise. He brought you here. So you're going to win or lose with him on the floor, and that's a good move by Patrick.
Well, whichever one of these teams wins tonight, it will be the 8th different championship, 8th different team in the NEC in the last 8 years. Neither of these teams has a whole lot of experience in the NCAA tournament. Just once before for St. Francis, and that was 34 years ago. And for Central Connecticut State, only 3 times previously in this, their 88th year of basketball, in front of a packed house here at Dietrich Gymnasium.
Well, both teams know each other so well. They've been unable to run their set plays here in the last 7 or 8 minutes. And they're just making basketball plays. They're trying to make good decisions within their concepts. And that's space the court, reverse the ball, and then try to attack the defense while the defense is moving in rotation. And that's what Central's going to try to do. I'm sure they'll run Momo at the top and try to free Jordan Jones, let him get into the gap, and then look for Devin Hade to make a play. And if they overhelp Hade is good enough, he'll find Jones open somewhere on the baseline.
But Jones has more turnovers than points tonight. Where do they go with the basketball? This is Ostrowski. Looks like he's trying to find Hade. Good defense by St. Francis, but as the senior point guard gets all the way to the basket to tie the game at 43.
A great play called by Patrick Sellers. They closed out. They opened up the baseline. Ostrowski had no help because everybody was attached on the perimeter.
DeMar Kelly. St. Francis 45-43. Final 10 seconds. 5 seconds. 4. The ball lost by Hayes. And the foul committed with under a second to go. The nation's longest active winning streak in grave jeopardy. And St. Francis on the verge of punching a ticket.
Well, that's a great play by Ostrowski. And Patrick Sellers trusts his team. Even though they're down 2, he looked at the defense. And then, of course, the great answer coming back by Kelly, and then coming down the court. It looked like Central was maybe going to run the same play, let Ostrowski try to make a play and see if they overhelped, that he could find Jones or Hade or maybe Momo going to the rim, but force the pass across the floor. And give St. Francis credit defensively. They were up in the passing lane, they're harassing, and they kept Ostrowski out of the paint.
Well, Tim, the officials are over checking the time to see if they have to put some more on the clock.
do a good job in this. It's a good pass to Haight. He just couldn't handle it. It was a little outside his target area, but he was trying to cut to the lane, and the pass was going to his right hand, and he was cutting to his left. So it was the proper idea. If Haight had caught that ball, he would have had an angle to get the ball into the lane or to the foul line where he's so good at that mid-range game.
The only time St. Francis University has played in the NCAA tournament, they were led by Mike Isolino, who scored 32 points against Fairleigh Dickinson in the NEC championship game. The team led by Jim Barron went to the big dance, lost to Arizona in the first round. Ron Krimmel's team looking to get back for just the second time in school history.
It's going to be 1.6, Doug. The officials have done an excellent job tonight. I mean, one thing, all these championship games are difficult to officiate, but when both teams are kind of clunky offensively and the defensive pressure is amped up, it means a lot of balls are coming off that rim. That means a lot of bodies are knocking each other around in the lane, but they've done a good job of keeping this game under control.
Moncrief, just a 61% free throw shooter, leaves the door open even if he makes the second.
Central still has a timeout, which will allow them to call it and try to throw it to the other end.
1 out of 2 to make it a 3-point game. Neither team is led by more than 4 in this classic. And time is called. Coach Sellers will talk things over. This is 4th year as head coach at his alma mater after a long apprenticeship, and you talked about it. He has been in a lot of huddles over the years, Tim, with a lot of very good coaches. What do you see him drawing up here right now? Well,
they're going to have to throw the ball down. They're going to have a chance for a catch at the top of the key, the old Christian Laettner play, and then try to find somebody. They have a chance to do that. Now the question becomes, does St. Francis foul on the catch? And that's what I would do. But Rob Krimmel did not do that in their game over the weekend against LIU. He just played it out. I would imagine he's going to put pressure on the basketball. That's the first thing you must do, so they can't get a clean look down the floor. And to this day, I think Kentucky wished they put somebody on the ball when Grant Hill threw the ball down to Laettner. And I think all coaches over the years have different philosophies, but that's the one thing I think you have to do. It looks like Brown's going to inbound the ball, and good job by St. Francis. They're going to put Pinedo up in his face. Now Brown, he's got to run the baseline though, and now Rob's going to take a look at their alignment and call another timeout.
30-second timeout called by St. Francis.
Well, Juan Cranford is this year's Rookie of the Year in the NEC, and he has lived up to the billing, Tim.
Well, if you drop me into this gym without knowing anything, I would say this is a 5th-year senior. This is a grad student coming out of the portal, but this is a true freshman, and he played like a veteran out there tonight. Maybe it's good that freshmen don't know their place on the court, because he played with no pressure on him from the get-go. Just tremendous confidence. You know, once he started hit a couple shots, they took away the 3, and then what did he do? He just used his power to get in the lane, and a lot of confidence, rock solid defensively, and rarely tried to do too much.
He broke out that headband for the first time tonight. He said he needed a little extra drip. It has worked out, and now 1.6 seconds to go. Brown runs the baseline, throws to midcourt. Haight with the heave for the tie. No! And the St. Francis Red Flash are dancing in 2025. Heartbreak for the 2nd year in a row for the regular season champs here on their home floor. Last year it was in the semis to Wagner, and the crushing defeat in the championship tonight against St. Francis. And the Red Flash will be that rare team with a losing record that shows up on your tournament bracket sheet on Sunday night. It was that close, just like the entire game tonight, to having overtime. But instead, the 14-game winning streak is over, and St. Francis is on to the NCAA tournament for just the second time in program history and the first time since 1991. And we are pleased to be joined now by the winning head coach, Rob Krimmel. Congratulations at your alma mater. What is the feeling right now to get your school back into the tournament?
Hey, you know, first of all, what a year for Pat and his squad. I have so much respect for Pat and his staff, Tom and the administration here. You know, we played in some really close games. And if you didn't have a rooting interest, what a basketball game. Now, we set the offense back a little bit here. It was a good old-fashioned rock fight. But we did a great job all night of not allowing them to get on a sustained run. And, you know, it's a little surreal right now. It hasn't really sunk in. But when you put the jersey on, and then the suit now, you know, when you start things in the summer, and then your first practice, the first game, everybody in the country is working towards this, and what an honor to be able to coach this group. They've embraced the journey better than any group that I've had the opportunity to coach. Highs and lows. You know, the guys drove the bus, and you know that, Coach. Player-driven teams are the best to coach because you don't have to do a whole heck of a lot. I don't know how many plays I called tonight. I trust our guys, and they made the plays that they needed to make. You know, big shot by Day. You know, I wasn't going to call a timeout in that situation. I let the players make those plays, and you know, fortunately, we got that stop in the end to win the game.
You called it a rock fight, but I was more impressed with the defense. And, you know, what was your defensive game plan tonight? Because it was so special, especially against those great guards.
We had to make it difficult for them. They're so talented, and it was, you know, a team effort. I thought Whistler, I thought Damar, I thought Riley did a really good job of just making everything difficult. And in the first half, as a staff, we said, listen, we were making them shoot contested shots, and we were missing some open ones. And so I thought defensively we were locked in, and unfortunately, I don't know what the numbers are, but I thought we did a much better job rebounding tonight, too, and not allowing them to get second and third opportunities at the rim.
When you opened the season, November 4th, you were in Dayton, Ohio. At the moment, did you imagine that you'd be going back for the first four of the NCAA tournament?
Not the way that game went. You know, and it's such a long journey. You know, and the opportunity for these guys to experience that is something they'll always remember. And just to be in this environment, what a great environment. You know, I've been a part of now, this will be the fourth championship game, and I'm not trying to put down, we had one at home, but this by far was the best atmosphere that our guys that I've coached in, and certainly a credit to the Central community and the people here to get, you know, all these people out, make a great atmosphere. Certainly the Northeast Conference represented well tonight.
No doubt. Congratulations.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Great job, Coach.
Thank you.
St. Francis wins the 2025 Northeast Conference Championship and will advance almost certainly to Dayton to open up just their second NCAA tournament in program history. A game that was tight right from the start. They never led by more than 4. They never trailed by more than 3. And the conference Rookie of the Year, Juan Cranford, led the way, 14 points. He opened his career back in his hometown. He started Wayne High School in Dayton, and now a few months later he is heading back to his hometown. And we are pleased to be joined now by the young man who didn't play anything like a freshman tonight. You played like a senior out there. What was the intensity like in this championship game tonight?
Man, it was crazy, man. I ain't gonna lie, it's a true blessing to come out here and play as hard as I can and play in this game. But I just want to thank God for this. This is a true blessing for me, man. It means a lot for me and my brothers. Yes, sir.
How confident were you coming into this game? Because right out of the gate, you made threes, and then when they took the threes away, you started dribble driving to the basket. I mean, you played like an experienced player and veteran out there. How did you adjust your game throughout the whole night?
First couple times we played them, we didn't really get the reads we wanted. So this time we come around, we just came, bit more patient with our reads, and then things opened up for us.
Juan, thank you so much. Grab a pair of scissors and cut down a couple of those nets.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Wow, what a night. The Northeast Conference Championship goes to the 3 seed, which upset the #1 seed.
Quite a night here tonight. And you like defense, it was here, but also intensity, pressure moments, and both teams showed their best when they needed to.
Our final score, St. Francis 46, Central Connecticut 43. For Tim Welsh, I'm Doug Sherman. Thanks for watching. So long from New Britain. Now let's head back to the studio with Malcolm and Coach Crean. Here's Dallin Cup.